the fallout from President Biden's comments, his off-the-cuff comments about Chinese President Xi Jinping being a dictator, once again heightening tensions between Washington and Beijing. Also adding to those tensions is Beijing's plan to build a new training facility in Cuba. The Wall Street Journal reporting that discussions for the facility on Cuba's northern coast are at an advanced stage but not concluded, U.S. intelligence reports suggest. Joining us now is Michael Vickers. He was the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and the former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations, Low-Intensity Conflict, and Independent Capabilities. He was also an operations officer for the CIA and a Special Forces soldier and officer, and also at the State Department. You've done it all.
Thank you.
And your new book, congratulations, is just out, Memoirs of a Life in Intelligence, Special Operations, and Strategy. Great to see you. Congratulations, Michael Vickers. I mean, you have had such a career, and we want to talk to you about a lot of this and continue to. But let me ask you first about Beijing. You know, you've seen these flaps before. So Beijing responded furiously. We're told that the language used by the foreign ministry today was the most angry that people had seen in years. How big a problem is this? Will they be able to move on past it?
Well, I think both sides are trying to cool down relations a little bit after, a lot of tension. But certainly it wasn't the best timing. But, I've known Tony Blinken a lot of years. He's a good diplomat.
But undercut by the President of the United States saying, the hard part right out loud, what you're not supposed to say.
Right. During these, summits or near summits like this, you generally want to tone down the rhetoric to give it the best chance of success.
What do you see as the chances of them still having a Xi-Biden meeting, perhaps at APEC, when there's a summit in the U.S. in November?
I think both sides want that, but we'll have to see.
So you've had a career. You've served under 6 presidents. I'm sure you've seen moments when presidents of the United States have said things, whether at a fundraiser or not on the teleprompter, that have messed you up. But what are some of the most challenging things you faced? Would it be Osama bin Laden?
So three events really defined a big part of my career. As a CIA officer doing the program that defeated the Soviets in Afghanistan in the 1980s, helped bring an end to the Cold War. And then our campaigns to disrupt and dismantle and ultimately defeat al-Qaeda between 2007 and 2015. And then, as you mentioned, the raid that brought justice to Osama bin Laden. And that's about 40% of the book. There's lots of other stuff in there, including a chapter on how we might posture ourselves to prevail in the new Cold War with China and Russia. But that's the heart of the book.
Does China fully understand the superpower diplomacy that's necessary? Because, they cut off military communications after Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan. And to a lot of Americans, certainly American politicians, why was that the trigger that would cut off something as critical as the hotline, basically, to avoid a miscalculation, avoid, a conflict between the two powers?
Well, right. I mean, so, in the past decade, they've become more assertive as they see the world more in bipolar terms between, the United States and China. And, if you're going to manage a strategic competition like this, it's important to, one, have good channels of communication, even when you have strong disagreements, as we did in our Cold War with the Soviet Union. So that's something I think the American side wants very badly, is to make sure we have adequate lines of communication.
From your analysis, how is Xi different from previous Chinese leaders who were more interested in, resolving economic disputes and maybe dealing with climate change? He seems now, as compared to how he was as the vice premier when Joe Biden first met him, he seems now much more ideological.
Yeah, he's by far the strongest or most powerful Chinese leader since Deng Xiaoping and Mao before that. And while Chinese leaders from Deng onward really focused on economic growth. Had this famous saying, hide your capabilities and bide your time. Xi has been a lot more assertive on the world stage since he took over in 2012.
How long do you think before they make some kinetic move, some invasion of Taiwan?
Well, he said he wants to see the Taiwan problem resolved, and he's told the People's Liberation Army to be ready not later than 2027. So, there's that risk. I think the risk has gone up looking out over the next few years that we could have a conflict. But it depends on what the different sides do.
Well, a lot more to dig into. Michael Vickers, the start of a conversation. Congratulations again on the book.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be with you, Andrea.
Thank you.